In today's climate, you always need to be ready. Nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights. Shoot better. Stay safer. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge.
Broadcasting from coast to coast on the air and around the world online. From the Crimson Trace booth on the SHOT Show floor in Las Vegas, once again, here's Tom.
Oh yeah. We're at the SHOT Show. We're having fun. We're talking to people. Everybody's walking by and going, what's wrong with those guys? They're like talking to themselves over there in the corner. I'm joined by Rob Leatham. He is a new shooter, and we're bringing him into the sport here. You're going to like it once you get this thing figured out.
After a few more years of practicing, I think this is going to work out for me.
That's right. I know somebody who could help you out. Her name is Kippy.
Yeah, well, or maybe Ryan.
Yeah, or Ryan.
Last time out.
Well, he actually
he's getting better.
He's getting better.
He's getting better.
That's
Despite
right.
your best attempts at helping him, he's getting better.
You know what it is? He stopped listening to me, and now he's actually shooting well.
Figured it out.
Rob Leatham, of course, a world champion shooter for like the last 4,700 years.
Well, I'm a lot older than I thought I was.
And now the bionic man with like plastic titanium parts all over.
Unobtainium. Yeah, unobtainium.
There you go. So obviously you've been hanging out in the Crimson Trace booth. Yeah. No, we're in the Crimson Trace booth. Come to speak of it.
I was going to say Chrisman. Hey, that's probably not.
So what's going on in Springfield Armory? I mean, we put up the video of the new XDS 4.0 a couple of days ago, so that's on YouTube. People can take a look at that. You guys have that. Explain to people what the thinking was behind stretching the barrel on the XDS.
Well, it's pretty simple. We've been so successful with the XDS in both 45 and 9mm. There comes a need for people with small hands that want a small, really thin gun, but they don't really need it for concealment. They really just want it for the size.
Right.
So the XDS it's about as thin as it can get. So it's kind of like, wait a minute, we can give you something that's a little easier to shoot, a little more weight, a little longer sight radius, a little easier to aim, without making it any wider by adding some length to the slide. And that's precisely what we did.
Well, it's one of those weird deals when you hear about it, even when you look at it, you go, okay, it's a little bit longer barrel. It's kind of like, big deal.
Right.
I mean, what's that going to do for you? It's not really until you shoot it that you understand the difference. And we were doing that in this video. Two things come to mind. One is the speed that you can stay on target.
Right.
You almost are getting no muzzle rise at all.
Right, virtually none. It's as little as it can get.
I mean, so you got a longer barrel. I guess point 1A is you're actually getting more velocity.
Right. You're getting a little more speed out of it. You got a little more forward weight balance to the gun,
right?
Just from the extra 2 ounces, because the 2 ounces are farthest away from you. So it makes the gun, weight and length make the guns feel different and point different.
Right.
And of course, weight helps with the recoil.
Sure. The other thing is it seems slight, but it's important, the longer sight radius.
Oh, it is. That 3/4 of an inch or whatever it exactly is. On a small gun like the 3.3, that's a huge percentage difference.
Yes, it is.
In the sight
radius. Good point. As a percentage gain, it's big.
It's a huge. If you take a 6-inch gun and add half an inch to the sight radius,
not so much.
Virtually unnoticeable. You take a very short radius and add a 3/4 of an inch, it's huge percentage-wise. And what you'll see that in the shooting range is that shots are better than you expect them to be.
You're just able to be more precise.
Right. Because the same amount of error in your sight alignment results in a more centered shot.
I mean, and for the video, Ryan backed up. He was shooting steel at 50 yards with what really is a concealed gun. I mean, it's still a small gun.
It is. I mean, it's still the XDS, which is, an inch thick, and with a short magazine in it, it's, 2 fingers long, and all of a sudden you've got a gun that torso hits it up at 50 yards or nothing. Nothing. It's really easy.
All right. Now, I know you said, okay, this is, for people who don't want to carry, but I'm looking at this and thinking, there is no downside to using this for carry, because if you're doing an inside the waistband holster, all you've got is 3/4 of an inch more barrel. It's not visible. It's not going to print any difference. It's exactly the same gun as far as the grip and everything else.
Makes that extra length means nothing unless you're sticking it in your pocket.
Right.
There, the 3.3 is way better.
Sure.
Or if you ultimately are trying to carry it in a manner where it's not muzzle down on your body.
True.
And if it's inside the pants, it could be a 6-inch barrel, and it still really wouldn't make much difference.
As long as it doesn't go past your knee and you can still walk.
That's right. It doesn't stick out your pocket or something like that.
Yeah,
And so there's really no downside to it. People ask for small guns, and so the 3.3 is the small gun.
It's great. I mean, look, 3.3 is great. Mm-hmm. This is just really interesting. It's some real advantages. The other thing is, it, of course, comes with the standard flush mount magazine, but they also come with
the 9-round magazine and the 9mm with the grip extension on it.
Yes.
And that's what really makes the 4.0 the gun. I'll be honest with you. For the concealment side, there's not much difference. 3/4 of an inch. But when you put the long grip with the 4-inch gun and just look at it, it's a perfectly balanced package. You know how there are some guns that do the traditional side, like a 4 3/4 inch Model P, a Peacemaker.
Right.
That gun just sitting there looks perfect ratios. My dad always thought a 5-inch end frame revolver was perfect ratios to look at. That gun is perfect like that.
Yep. All right, real quickly, tell them about the new 9mm. We call it the 1911 Light.
Right, 1911 Light. Well, the version is the 1911 RO in 9mm, which we've had it out in 45 for quite a few years, and its whole purpose was an entry-level competition gun without all the bells and whistles. So we weren't spending all your money up front. You'll eventually do some modifications to it, but right up front we're going to leave it fundamentally the things you need: slide, barrel, good trigger, adjustable sights. Well, the popularity of 9mm has just gone through the roof.
And the price of the ammo is so much better.
It's half the price of 45 ammo because normally it's weight of bullet that you're paying for. So not only does the gun, it kicks less, it's more accurate than
say that again, because people don't understand
9mm is the best shooting caliber of the guns that we build.
Right.
If you talk to our performance builder guns, the guys in the custom shop, Dave will sit there and tell you the day in, day out, an average 9mm that they build shoots better than the best 45s. It's just something. Part of it is certainly due to the fact that it kicks less.
Right.
And in competition, when you're looking for accuracy, that's a major factor.
Sure.
Plus, you get a couple more rounds.
Right.
So in some divisions, ESP for IDPA, you don't shoot a 45. That puts you in CDP. So here's a perfect gun, and if your hand just loves the 9mm or loves the 1911 package.
And the other thing is that's beautiful about 1911s is they're so customizable. You get this, you said, we were talking earlier, you had a lady in the booth. She got short fingers. You say, okay, well, you can go with a short trigger. You can go with the thin grip
Put the
handles.
thin grips on it?
You could put a lowered safety lever. That's what 1911s are about, is customizing them anyway.
That is the thing that's beautiful about it. You can do anything to one of those.
It's great out of the box.
Right.
And if it fits you and works, great. But if you want to tweak it,
it's so tunable. It's like it's a small block Chevy of the gun world, because you can literally make it work for anybody in any shooting sport that I've been involved in.
And I can tell you from experience, if you've shot a 1911, you thought they're nice, when you shoot a 1911 in 9, all of a sudden you're going, oh my heavenly days, this is
cheating.
Fabulous.
It's cheating. It's the easiest gun to shoot. In all the classes that we do, especially when wife Kippy does classes, she always has a 9mm 1911. Because when someone's struggling with whatever gun they brought, says, well, here, you shoot this for a while. And the flinches go away, the jerks go away, the accuracy goes up, and the speed goes up. What more can you want?
There you go. All right, the new guns are on the website.
They are.
SpringfieldArmory.com.
That's it.
Okay, that'll work. That's about it. We've got new guns, new cool stuff, and probably some more things coming down the...
There's more things happening.
That's okay. We'll talk about that later.
A little later.
Rob, thanks so much.
All
Always
right,
a pleasure, partner.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, don't go far, people. We're at the SHOT Show, and we will be right back.
Traveling with your handgun? The gun transporter from Console Vault protects your gun with plate steel, high security lock, and retractable tether cable. Accessible but secure. Visit CONSOLEvault.com.
The Ruger SR45, a large caliber pistol with a trim, ergonomic profile. Like the popular Ruger SR9 and SR40, the SR45 is perfectly sized to be comfortable and controllable with a slim, ergonomic grip and narrow slide. It features an adjustable 3-dot sight system, Ruger's unique reversible back strap, an ambidextrous manual safety and magazine release, and built-in Picatinny rail. The Ruger SR45, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
What do LaserMax customers say about LaserMax lasers?
I'm alive because of your company. I was robbed at gunpoint. 2 of my 3 shots hit their intended target, and I was able to remove the threat. I made it home to my wife alive.
For shooting accuracy and training, it's a life-saving tool critical to any firearm.
I trust your products with my life. Thank you.
To learn more about LaserMax, go to lasermax.com. That's LaserMax.com. LaserMax.
Keep your handgun and other valuables safe in your truck or SUV. Get a vehicle vault from Console Vault. Plate steel, 3-point locking system, easy installation. Visit CONSOLEvault.com.
SHOT Show 2014. Too good to miss. And we didn't. We're here to tell you all about it. From the Crimson Trace booth, here's Tom Gresham.
Yes, we are still talking about guns because there are 47 gazillion guns in the room with me, as well as 47 gazillion gun people. One just joined us right now. How you doing, Tom?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
Good. Tom Taylor from Mossberg has joined us. Your booth is insane because you guys have, ta-da, the Duck Commander guys.
We do. The Duck Commander guns, we released them a couple of months ago or announced them, but when it went mainstream television a couple of weeks ago, it's just exploded on us. So,
yeah, everybody's calling you guys CNN. Everybody's wanting to talk to you about these guns.
Yes,
and,
so they're playing Mossberg commercials on Good Morning America, showing the guns.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's been amazing. So
what are the Duck Commander guns?
If it's a Mossberg waterfowl gun, we pretty much did a version of it. It's 835s, 535s, 500s, our semi-auto 930s, 935s. Right. We also did some rimfire for youth and so forth. So we 11 base guns and then already some special makeups for other customers. So it's very comprehensive.
Got to ask you. I'm sure people ask you, what are those guys really like? They're real, aren't they?
I couldn't tell you how realistic they are to what they are on the show. At least when we were down there and spent 2.5 days with them, I didn't see anything that would suggest anything.
What you see is what you get, man.
Absolutely.
And when they are passionate about something, that's really what they're passionate about. And when they're loyal to their families, that's really what they are.
Yeah, that's what we saw.
They're the real deal.
And they were great to work with. I mean, they sat in on conference calls and meetings to plan the guns.
And they know guns.
They do. They absolutely know guns.
They know what works, and,
They knew what they wanted. They knew barrel lengths. They knew optics, sights, whatever. They knew what they wanted.
And the corollary to that is, you can't say this, but I can, is if they were not happy with Mossberg, they would never have done this deal.
They tested our guns before they signed the contract. They weren't going to do anything without testing the guns and make sure they held up to their standards. And so far, so good.
There you go. All right, so you got the Duck Commander guns. You got like a booth full of other stuff. So walk us through quickly because we can't cover it all.
Yeah, no, I'll fly fast because it's a lot of stuff. I mean, the biggest true innovation is this year we've come out with our MVP rifles and all the variations that we do. But the big news is 308.
Right.
So last year we
Explain
did the 223s.
what the MVP is.
MVP is a bolt-action rifle that accepts an AR-style magazine. So last year we came out with the 223 version, and it accepts all styles of standard AR magazines. And this year we're out with our 308. So both DPMS and M1A style magazines lock up to this bolt-action rifle, and people think that's really cool.
And that was a whole lot harder than people thought.
It was. It took. We thought we'd be ready with this 8 months ago, and it's taken us this long to make sure it did what we said it would do.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's big
out.
news. We've added, some other things like Muddy Girl. We've got a whole line of Muddy Girl camo pattern stuff now with the cryptic camo craze. We've entered that with several products. One thing that when you have so much new stuff, sometimes things fly under the radar screen. And one thing that's gotten a lot of attention is we now have a shotgun. A couple guns we've introduced that have a laser built for a shotgun, which I know you've seen. It's a laser light that has
for defensive use.
The center mass. It's got a laser in the middle, and then it's surrounded. And we've patterned it, and from anywhere to close quarter stuff all the way out to 25 yards with buckshot, it'll keep all but on the average about one pellet in the circle.
The circle, you have a laser, or rather a circle of laser dots. And as the distance increases, the circle gets bigger, and it very closely approximates the pattern size. So you know exactly what you're going to be hitting.
Yeah, that's been very hot. Kind of running down the list. I mean, we've now introduced a line of Magpul accessories on Mossberg shotguns, and we'll be going all in with some Magpul products. One really fun project, if you're familiar with the just-in-case tubes that Mossberg's always done, which are preparedness, that you can bury them. You can, we have marine versions to keep in your boat or whatever. So we've now, in partnership with the NRA, announced the JIC Patriot, which is a tube that's wrapped in an American flag with a Second Amendment, and we put the NRA logo on the gun.
And the idea is, okay, you've got a gun and a sealable tube that you can put somewhere that's your go-to, when stuff hits the fan, basically.
Yes, it's got a little sling on it. It's protects it against all elements, and we decided to put the NRA logo on it. We're donating a portion of the proceeds back to the NRA.
And there's no reason you couldn't use this as your gun case going to and from the range either.
No, it's very protective.
Cool looking. And it's protective. Yes.
All good. So we've added 20 gauge to the Flex shotgun line.
The
Flex shotguns we came out with a couple of years ago with all the accessories that are toolless. That line is doing very well. So now you have bolt action rifles that accept Flex accessories, so you can change out the stocks. We've introduced a Flex 22, our little 22 rifle that'll now accept all the same stocks that fit on the shotguns.
Really?
Will fit the bolt action
so
centerfire
you could go
rifles.
From youth length to adult length to
6-position stock, 4-position adjusting hunting stock with comb adjustment.
Right.
And so any way you want to configure a shotgun, a rifle, now a 22, and so we've expanded from 12 gauge to 20 gauge.
I'm looking at your cheat sheet. Something just got my attention I hadn't seen before.
Yes, that's
What's that?
So a couple years ago, we hit a gun that just exploded, no pun intended, on us with the 715T, which is our little 22 AR style rifle. So this year we're doing the 715P, standing for pistol. So we now have an AR style 22 rimfire pistol.
What a fun-looking thing,
It's
man.
a lot. We did a red dot version and a regular version without a red dot. And actually, there's a Duck Commander version of it because when we were down there, and they deal with a lot of cottonmouth snakes, as you know, in your neck of the woods.
Yes,
and as Uncle Si called it, the cottonmouth killer. So I have a feeling that may end up on an episode somewhere.
So you got for people to understand, it's an AR-15 pistol shooting 22 rimfire.
Yes. So another gun, we introduced a couple of guns with 12-round tubes. So, Goose, where there's no limits. Coyote, we did the cryptic camos, very popular right now. We did a Yeti, which is the snow version.
Right.
We've done that. It also comes with a 5-round tube if you need to take off the 12-rounder for another hunting season or whatever. But we did that. We also introduced some of the Typhon, the black and gray cryptic camo pattern across some of our most popular self-defense guns, the JM Pro Series, the 930
How many new products do you have this year?
We have a lot. And what our customers are telling us they're happy about is that, the black gun market is pretty saturated right now. I think after last year you can get those, but our customers are excited because these are kind of different. There's a lot of different spins between Duck Commander and our new MVP rifles. It's just some very unique stuff, so it's been very exciting.
And of course, you still got your MSRs out there,
yes,
which are doing really well.
They're doing very well, and so we really are taking a lot of pride in the fact that we're not just a shotgun company, which a lot of people perceive Mossberg that way, and we've become very diverse, and we're working with a lot of great partners, and so we're really excited about the expansion of our product line, our brand.
Let me ask you this. Of course, it's the big question from last year. What's the real-world availability? Can people get stuff?
It's still a struggle. I mean, some of the self-defense stuff is a little getting a little more caught up, but in reality, I mean, for instance, I'm concerned that we've had customers share with us that their customer service hotlines or customer care hotlines are blowing up with calls for duck commander guns already, and we're starting to watch those orders roll in. And I'm starting to say, and now I'm going to have to start saying, when can I,
I need more. When can I get those? How many can we turn out here?
But if you look at just the 930, which is our semi-automatic, a few years ago, won some Gun of the Year awards, and then we introduced the JM Pro Series with Jerry Micklick, then we expanded that to the Micklick family, and now we have 930s in the Duck Commander line.
Right.
So that product line has grown over 10 times, and we still can't make enough guns in terms of our production. So
grown over 10 times?
10 times from what it was 4 years ago, and we're still backlogged 6 months.
Holy cow.
So it just speaks to, the partnerships and the unique ideas, and it keeps growing. And you see the people line up when we have Jerry and Kay and Leon in our booth. And, I hear that so often, when can I find a JM Pro Series? And they get frustrated with that. But I'm telling you, for the Mossberg family to make the investment to be able to produce 10 times more guns, I think that's significant, but we still can't make enough. So
that's something you might just touch on. This is a privately owned company.
It is. It's a great situation.
They don't have to go appeal to stockholders.
No.
They just look at it and say, what do you think? Good idea? Knock it around with all your executives there, and then they can somebody just says, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, my decision tree is pretty short. I go to Ivor Mossberg, and then he's our CEO, and the father, Alan, is our chairman, and he's mostly retired, but still has his hands in the business, and it's we have our functional areas on our staff, and we can make decisions very, very quickly, and it's
that way
fun.
You can be nimble.
We can. We respond to customer special requests quickly, in terms of adding capital to grow a product line by 10 times over a 4-year period.
Yeah, that's astounding.
It's not easy to necessarily make that decision to open your checkbook up for the expense involved in that. And so it's still frustrating that you have to share with customers, I wish I could do more.
Right.
But we do, we are trying.
Nobody has an unlimited budget.
No.
But your growth is absolutely phenomenal. And, and honestly, it's based on the fact that you bring out guns that people want and guns that work and have a good reputation, and you're working with good people.
Yeah, it really is exciting. It's a lot of fun for us.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get together. We're going to shoot some of this stuff on the range. We're going to do some videos for the TV shows. We'll have some fun.
So I'm ready when you are.
I know you are. Pulling the trigger is always a good thing. We're all about that. To find out, all this stuff's on the website now?
Mossberg.com.
Mossberg.com. If you can't figure that out, you probably shouldn't have a firearm.
It's pretty simple.
That's right. This is a self-regulatory thing for you. Okay. All right. Don't go anywhere, people. We are at the SHOT Show. We're going to have more news for you when we come back. Still lots of new guns and ammo out there, and I'll tell you about some of these new cartridges.
One of Talker Magazine's 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. You're listening to Gun Talk, heard every week at this time on great radio stations across America. Stay tuned. Gun Talk is coming right back. Covering all aspects of gun ownership every week on this fine radio station. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, before we talk about new guns, I got to tell you, I've alluded to it a couple of times. There are new cartridges out there. We'll talk about one of those in about 10 minutes. But another one I saw was a 25 caliber cartridge for the AR-15, a 25-45 Sharps. It is a 223, necked up to 25. Right now I'm joined by Mark Gurney from Ruger, and I know we're rifle fans. This one falls right between the 250 Savage and the 257 Roberts in velocity, 3,000 feet per second with an 87-grain bullet out of an AR. I'm looking at that and going, that's actually a pretty sweet little place to be.
It's sad sometimes we get all these great cartridges that come up in the last few years, and yet the market loves them for a little while, and some of them fall apart, and then others, the 40 S&W, I guess, was the first one to recently, in the last however many years, that's been introduced that really works well.
Right.
204 Ruger hasn't done too bad.
Right.
375 Ruger, now it's never going to replace the H&H, but it keeps getting a little bit more traction year after year, doing better and better. And that was it 25, 45?
25, 45 sharps,
yes.
of all things.
It sounds like an old Western cartridge, doesn't it? I don't think AR when I hear it. But,
right.
So on paper, it looks absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we, right?
Exactly. And, of course, you guys have actually been one of the few companies to, in some form or fashion, keep the Roberts alive. You keep chambering the Roberts.
Right. The Bob, right?
The Bob, that's right. That's right. So, there are Ruger rifles available for the 257 Roberts. Not all the line, not everything.
Well, but, actually, that's how we manage number ones. Number ones we used to have, we have 5 models, and we had all these calibers, and how do we know which ones to make? So what we do, we started, I think it was last year, we make 1 caliber per model per year.
Okay.
And we change them out in January.
Huh.
And this year on the International, which is that long man stock, gorgeous gun.
Yes, it is.
That's in 257 Roberts.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Ooh, I didn't.
Classic
I did
cartridge,
not need
classic.
To know that. Because I bought another number 1 about 4 years ago in Roberts that Ellipses did a special run of.
Right. Well,
and that's still sitting in the box in the closet. I haven't taken it out.
Shame on you. You need to take it out for a walk in the woods.
You're right. I know. It's there you go. All right, you guys got new stuff to talk about here. So what's new? What's hot?
Well, in the handgun side, I think most of the attention in the booth has been for the GP100 Match Champion. Now, we've got 1,400 people that come to work every day in Newport, New Hampshire, making guns. And as you might imagine, there's more than a couple match shooters.
I would think.
Yeah. So we've got some guys on the revolver line that shoot IDPA. And, well, we can't just go with a stock gun.
Right, of course. That would just not be right.
Call it an employee discount, but if they can two things up or whatever and get a little better, something better for competition, that's fine. But they just took on a life of its own, and they came up with their match champion.
Huh.
So what we've done is slab-sided the barrel, cut the underlug off the barrel, so it just covers up the ejector rod, gave it an action job.
Okay.
Tapered the cylinders, easy reholstering, cut down the top strap, put on fixed sights, a nice Hogue stippled hardwood grip.
Right.
And it shoots like a dream.
It chambered for what?
357 Magnum and 38 Special, just like the GP100.
Right.
So a tank of a gun is a GP100. Now it's a high-speed, low-drag tank. Right.
Well, and this, I would just have to say, this kind of goes to the new Ruger, because there were times many years ago now when they never would have thought of doing a trigger job, an action job on a Ruger.
Right.
Now Ruger turns out the guns that people want.
Yes.
I mean, as weird as that obvious as it sounds,
it's okay for the cool kids to actually carry a Ruger.
Yes, it really is. Yeah. So, and I saw out at the demo day at the range, people were just all over that revolver.
Right.
Oh,
and it still has the full power mainspring. Because and that's one of those we laugh about trigger job out of Ruger. Well, if you're going to lighten it up, well, it may not ignite all primers.
You've got to make sure it works.
Right. So we put the full power mainspring in, so we'll ignite everything. Now, if somebody wanted to load a dedicated load for it with a soft primer, well, they can change out a mainspring.
Well, and that's one of the beauties of the design.
Yes. And if they're that tuned into this, no pun intended,
they'll know what to do.
They'll know what to do. Is right. So we want to give, and not everyone shoots IDPA.
Right.
Frankly, it's just a cool-looking gun that I'd like to have.
Well, I was just going to say, I would get this gun. Forget competition. I just think it's a great gun, and it's accurate. That's the other part of it.
Yes. I was really surprised at Media Day at the range, people drilling the X out of the X-ring with it, and pretty consistent.
I slipped in there, and I got a few rounds off with that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know how it is. Your focus is hard on the front sight, and then when you're done with the cylinder, you allow your focus to go out to the target, and you go, oh, wow, look at that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I wish I had that discipline to look at the front sight and not look at the target, but maybe that's why I don't shoot much IDPA.
I suffer from fear of embarrassment. Everybody's watching me at the media day, so you go, okay, I'll actually look at the front sight this time.
Well, that gun has a nice, bright fiber optic front, and it's hard to ignore it, and it's got a fixed Novak on the rear.
All right, what else you got in the catalog?
Okay, LCR-X. Now, you know the LCR. Great double action trigger pull.
Right.
Best in the industry. Best out of the box.
Yeah.
Of course, a double action only gun, it looks a little odd. All right. Let's say the LCR may not win a beauty contest. All right.
Okay, it's a functional gun.
It's a functional gun. And for drawing from a pocket, double action only, that is the way to go.
Perfect.
But not everyone is drawing from a pocket. We like to just shoot.
Okay.
And perhaps it's more fun to shoot single action, so we added LCR-X, an external hammer, to the gun. And it still has a fabulous double action only trigger pull.
But it gives you the option of cocking the hammer and shooting single action if you want to.
And it's got a great single action trigger too. So best of both worlds. And it's not a huge spur. You can still carry it concealed in a pocket if you want. So now we got both choices. We either have the external hammer or the double action only model. Let's see what else is in handguns. Pistols now. The LCP that we know and love. Now we have a model with a stainless steel slide. Good looking gun, more corrosion resistant for pocket carry. I think it's well placed. And I think my favorite on the pistol side is the 2245 Light. Now, just like we talked about with the number one doing an annual renewal, the first year's 2245 Light had a gold anodized upper receiver. And I guess I should explain it's an aluminum upper, so it's a 23 ounce 2245. So the first year's was gold, the second year's was a basic black, and this year is a cobalt blue, cobalt gray. Oh, it's sweet looking. And the patterning, we do some milling cuts just to lighten it up, keeps it really cool looking. It looks like ventilated, almost look like a hand
guard.
guard.
We got to send folks to the website to see them all, right?
Yes, www.ruger.com.
Ruger.com. Mark, thank you. We're going to go out and shoot these. We'll do some TV with them. We'll show people more pictures of them. Go out and have a great time at the SHOT Show, okay?
All right, thanks, Tom.
All right, we'll be right back.
Have you ever held a Walther? Walther handguns are an extension of your hand. From the moment you hold the ergonomic grip of a Walther, you feel the difference. Today, Walther continues its long tradition of expertise in firearm design with the introduction of 3 incredible new handguns: the smooth PPQM2, the tough PPX, and the cool PPKS22. Log on now at waltherarms.com. Walther at your favorite retailer.
There's a rise in home invasions in America, and you need to be ready. Ready to protect yourself and your family. The bedside backup from Crossbreed Holsters keeps your gun at your bedside, ready to go. It also folds flat for easy storage and travel. Take it with you and use with any hotel bed. To see more, go to crossbreedholsters.com. That's crossbreedholsters.com. The bedside backup is not a child safety device.
Since 1997, Access Sights have been helping good guys take care of bad situations. The industry leader in gunfighter sights for pistols, shotguns, and rifles, Access Sights are the upgraded solution to your defensive firearms. Learn more about Access Sights and purchase them at AccessSights.com. You can also order your new gun with Access Sights already installed from companies such as Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Remington, Mossberg, and Marlin. If you need a gun, you need Access Sights.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
The Crimson Trace mission is to enhance people's ability to protect family, home, and country. Gun Talk is down with that. Check them out at crimsontrace.com.
We are, in fact, at the Crimson Trace booth at the SHOT Show, Las Vegas, Nevada. Once a year, the entire firearms industry goes to Vegas. The new products are shown here. People get to see new stuff. A lot of new guns, but also occasionally, much less frequently, you get a new cartridge. And some cartridges get introduced and you go, hey, okay, why? I mean, honestly, why? Zach Waterman is joining us from Nosler because you guys have one of those that nobody has looked at this and said, why? Everybody looks at this and goes, oh, blank, yes. I mean, it's like, gotta have it, want it. So what is it?
Okay, it's called the 26 Nosler. So it's a 264 caliber or 6.5 millimeter cartridge.
6.5s are hot.
They're very hot. And speaking of hot, this one has a muzzle velocity of 3,400 feet per second with our 129 grain AccuBond long range. And with our 140 grain AccuBond, you're looking at 3,300 feet per second, all in our trophy grade ammo. So it's the flattest and fastest shooting 6.5 out there.
And it is chambered in a standard length, not a magnum length rifle, right?
Correct. So a 30-06 length action.
Okay. Not a belted cartridge. It's a fat body cartridge.
That's correct. So the parent case is the 404 Jeffries, which has been a popular parent cartridge.
Right.
So it's we're very excited.
I'm looking at your comparison. You got several cartridges in front of us here. I wish people could see it. You got the 6.5 by 284, which is really a great Wildcat now become standardized cartridge, and then the venerable 264 Win Mag, which really was the one that set up high-speed 6.5s, because, of course, the 6.5 by 55 Swedish was one that people knew, and it's a great cartridge in itself.
Absolutely.
There's something kind of magical about the 6.5 264 bullet with sectional density and ballistic coefficient. It's like the ultimate sweet spot, isn't it?
They really are, and the fan club is vastly growing for the 6.5s as well. So, you're seeing the Creedmoors and the Grendels and so many, the 260 Rem. There's so many applications for the 6.5, and it is growing rapidly in popularity. But we kind of wanted to get a hot rod cartridge, and that's what we're looking for here.
All right, you mentioned the 260 Rem. I saw in your literature something that was interesting. You said, is it more velocity or more energy at 400 yards with this cartridge than the 260 has at the muzzle?
Correct. So at about 400 yards, the 264 or the 26 Nosler does what the 260 does at the muzzle.
At the muzzle.
Yeah. So.
And the other big benefit, and it's a real world benefit, is the stretching of the point blank range of the distance that you can hold on, not have to hold over at all, right?
Right. So what we're calling it has a 415 yard point blank range. So with a 350 yard zero, you can hold basically dead on a critter or a 8-inch target.
Basically say a deer sized vital area, if you will.
Exactly. And not have to worry about holdover.
Just hold on, pull the trigger. If he's past that, I would probably say it's too far, but that's just me.
Right, and then we've seen a huge growth in long range hunting as well, and long range competitions, and this cartridge is really going to help out with that. Like you said, with that 6.5, the popularity of the ballistic coefficient, and for hunting applications, the sectional density. We were actually getting to shoot a few days ago at the media day at the range, and we got to stretch our legs a little bit out to 950 yards, and it was automatic.
Now, you mentioned the Accubon long range, and that's a new offering. You got to tell people about that bullet, the whole concept behind that.
So we had a lot of people asking for a bonded hunting bullet with a high ballistic coefficient.
Instead of being a match bullet.
Right. So what we did is we took our very unique and proprietary manufacturing process, and we took something that had a tapered nose, so it's very thin at the nose, allowing for a minimum impact velocity of 1,300 feet per second.
So what that means is even at long range where the velocity is really falling off, you still get reliable expansion.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so on the other end of that, if you do find something close, the maximum impact velocity for these bullets to reliably work without fragmenting is 3,400 feet per second.
So in the case of this cartridge, point blank.
Yep.
I mean, literally off the muzzle, the bullet still holds together.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So you get the best of both
and
worlds.
High BC.
Yep. Yeah. In fact, these bullets have the highest ballistic coefficient in their class.
Which means not only does that reduce drop, but possibly more important, it reduces wind drift.
Exactly, and that's the real variable when you're shooting at longer ranges.
Yeah.
Because, drop is a constant. Gravity treats everything the same.
You can dial in drop. Yeah, we make mistakes on wind.
That's exactly right.
That's where we screw up our shooting, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's the deal there. And you're offering this as loaded ammo?
We are, both in our trophy grade and trophy grade long-range ammunition. The trophy grade ammo in the 140 grain Accubon, and the long range with the 129 grain Accubon long range.
Okay. When is this going to be available?
This should be available probably end of Q3, so in a couple more months.
Oh, excuse me there. Okay, a couple more months. As components or just loaded ammo?
Both. We're going to have, We're going to have both component brass available and loaded ammunition. So we're really trying to, support this cartridge the best we can.
Well, it is a hot rod, and everybody wants it. I'll tell you what, I want to talk a little bit more about this. I know you guys have got other things to talk about.
Sure.
So we're going to hit a break here. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit. We're looking at the 26 Nosler. It's on the website already?
Yeah, if you actually go to 26nosler.com, it has its own website.
Oh, you got a little mini site for
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
26nosler.com.
Exactly.
And you can find the information about it. It's No, it's a good-looking cartridge, too.
Oh, yeah.
So, goes fast, hits hard, and the other thing, people are going to say, yeah, okay, you got a cartridge, but where do I get a rifle for it? Let's hold that for the backside because you can get rifles for the 26 Nosler, so we'll talk about that. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to go on for the TV shows, guys. I've got an old Winchester Model 70 Westerner and 264 Win Mag. We're going to shoot it side by side with the 26 Nosler, and we're going to show just how good this new cartridge is. All right, don't go anywhere when we come back. We're going to tell you where you can get a rifle for this great cartridge.
Gun Talk stands for safety, personal responsibility, and common courtesy. To be a part of the show, call 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Gun Talk will be right back.
It's pretty funny. We're sitting here at the SHOT Show, and people are walking by. Zach Waterman from Nosler sitting here. A guy who walks by, he just says, "Great cartridge," and he walks off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy cow. You don't get that.
The last 3 days I have, but before that, no, not very often.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't happen. We're talking about the new 26 Nosler cartridge. It's a 264 or a 6.5 bullet diameter, shooting a 129 grain bullet at 3,400 feet per second. Flat as a bolt of lightning.
Yeah, the
hits
laser
like
beam.
A bolt of lightning. But obviously you got a cartridge, but what am I going to shoot it in?
Good question. So, in further effort to support the cartridge, the introduction of it, Nosler has all of our rifles that we manufacture are going to be chambered or available in the 26 Nosler. But we also came out with some new rifles this year. Very exciting news.
Okay.
So, what we have is our signature Nosler Model 48 action.
Right.
Our stainless steel match grade barrel, synthetic or fancy walnut stock, but the retail price on these are going to be $16.95 and $18.95, which is substantially less than our previous models.
That's a lot lower than you've had before. I mean, that's seriously lower.
Exactly. So what we've done is invested in our machinery and our plant and our rifle building process with some CNC machinery like that, and really made more efficient our manufacturing process. So we can save on the labor, pass that savings on down to the customer with the final price.
And the other thing that people may not know, which of course is important to me, is Nosler also makes left-handed versions.
We sure do. So, in fact, it is on my list of things to do to get one of these made for you so you can test it out.
How often have I kicked you in the shin about that in the last 4 days? Oh, by the way, I need a left-handed one of these.
Yes, it is very high on my list.
We're going to make it happen. Okay, now obviously you got the cartridge and you got the rifles. Have you talked to, I know you have, other rifle makers because you want wide adoption of this cartridge?
Exactly. So that's really what we're excited about too. So there are several other major rifle manufacturers looking at chambering this round. I'm not going to announce who they are. I'm going to let them do that when they're ready. But we've had a lot of excitement in the industry.
Probably by NRA show in 3 months, we'll have news about that.
I would imagine.
Yeah, if not before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's exciting.
The 6.5 is I mean, this is just a fabulous diameter cartridge. The 26 Nosler gives you everything you're looking for. You had a quick story during the break where you said people walk up and they ask the same question. Well, yeah, but how long is the barrel going to last? I love your answer.
Right. So it's kind of like, if you were to go to the Porsche dealership and ask the guy, well, how long are these tires going to last on this thing? If you have to ask, maybe it's not for you.
What do you think? Yeah, because, if you go buy a Ferrari or a Porsche, if you get 15,000, 20,000 miles out of a tire, you've done very well.
Absolutely.
That's what happens when you have a hot rod.
That is true. So the truth is we don't know. We expect the barrel life to be like any other Magnum out there. But,
right.
How many of your friends do you know that have actually shot out a barrel?
No. It just almost never happens.
Right. So
all right. So for people to get information, ballistic information, all of that, you've got the mini website for the 2.6.
That's exactly right. 2.6 or 26 Nosler.
Okay. The numbers 2 and 6 Nosler.com. Okay, and that'll get you there. When is this going to be available?
We are looking at probably March or April where we're going to start seeing distribution of the brass and the cartridge and the ammunition.
And the rifles?
Rifles, probably same.
Okay. So in a month or two, people will start being able to get this thing.
That's exactly right.
All right, left-handed person, send it to me.
Naturally.
Zach, thanks so much. I appreciate it, man. It is a cool, well, people walk by and go, great cartridge. That's when you know you got a home run, partner.
Yes, we're excited. Thank you for having us, Tom.
Absolutely. All right, don't go far. When we come back, we have more news from the SHOT Show in Las Vegas.
Firearms, ammunition, recreational and competitive shooting, training, hunting, and yes, even politics. You're listening to Gun Talk. Call us now at 1-866-825-5486. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com.